Yo, what's up, y'all? It's the Mma Analyst here to do my preview for UFC 128. Let's get right down to it. Mauricio Shogun against Jon Bones Jones. By the way, you're gonna feel like, yo, he's not really into it. It's because it's kind of late and people are sleeping, so I'm not trying to get all rowdy about it, but I'll see what I can do. Let's talk about this Jon Jones character running through people early in his. I mean, he is early in his career, but earlier in his UFC career, came out with lots of flashy stuff, etc., spinning back kicks, lots of throws, etc. Kind of look, kind of like Shogun in his early career, except for, I mean, Shogun was really knocking out some of the top guys in the division at the time. But anyways, the point is, he's really young. He's doing his thing. He's improving. I mean, guys like Jon Jones right now are looking like this is where you want the sport to go. Young, talented guys who are improving, can adapt, who are learning quickly, all that good stuff. I think I've picked him every fight with almost like he'll win this easy. And I've always been a fan of his, at least ever since I first saw him in the UFC. And I think he's going to be the champion one day. But in this fight, not just because, what's up, Shogun, all that stuff, but just because, honestly, I don't like the thought of people coming in off the street and I know MMA is in its early stages, but I mean, and it really is, but I mean, Jon Jones made his UFC debut at 9 months, and I'm like, damn, he's learning quick. And then a couple years later, he's going for the title shot, and he's a favorite. Now, there are some factors that have to do with that. Shogun's coming off of his third damn knee surgery, how he's looked in the past coming off of surgeries, etc. But the reality is, I mean, somebody just basically walked off the street and just, handling it like it's nothing. And that's not how things work in professional sports. You think of all the folks that are in whatever, all the people that play sports in certain schools, basketball, football, baseball, hockey, and I know it's different, but the thing is, those guys, people who are amazing at some sports, in great shape, all that stuff, they ain't even gonna touch the professional level. So I have no problem with people becoming champions, and I'm a big fan of Jon Jones. But just too damn early. Just not yet. Not yet. Do it like GSP did. Even though GSP was training a lot longer and had a lot more fights. Do it like GSP. Lose the first one. Come back later stronger. You know what I mean? I'm down for that. But seriously, I just don't like it. I don't like that. Brock Lesnar. Not to say that they're not good athletes, but it's the only professional sport that this happens in. And I don't care how good or how young or how in shape or how dedicated or any of that stuff is. It's just not a good look. It's not like it hurts the sport. It's just something in me just goes, ugh, I don't like that. But anyways, Jon Jones was already training with Rashad Evans when he got the what up. It's time for a title shot. By the way, Jon Jones' attitude has been a little bit different lately. It's actually getting a lot of hate. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But I will say that his attitude towards his training partner, Rashad Evans, I mean, those guys are going to fight. I don't think they're going to be training partners for too long. Jon Jones could have said, oh, you know what, guys, thank you very much. But, Rashad will be ready in a month or two or whatever. He knew about the accident. He knew about the little mistake, whatever, but he said, thank you. And he's a young fighter. Why wouldn't he, right? I don't know. I'm just saying, you're going to see a fallout soon. Especially if Jon Jones wins. But, if this fight is all things even, if this is Jon Jones at his 100% and Shogun at his 100%, I pick Shogun easy. Easy pick. Jon Jones stuff, his spinning back fists and stuff that he hasn't been doing for a while and didn't really do against anybody that wasn't like, Stephan Bonner or something. Yeah, that's not working against top level 205ers. Shogun, Machida, Rampage. That stuff's not working. Also, he's not doing it anymore. But anyways, the point is he was training with Rashad, and Rashad got hurt, and he was there. He was the training partner, and then switch. Now you're the dude, and you're the helper, right? So he actually was training with this fight for a lot longer. Not to mention he already had his own fight, so he's in shape. It's no big deal. But let me tell you one thing. A lot of people are like, yo, man, Karsten, yo, analyst, you will never pick against Shogun. And I'll tell you right now, no word of a lie, straight up. If it was Shogun against Rashad in the exact same situation like it was supposed to be, y'all would have seen me sit here and shed a tear and pick Rashad. Because I would have said, look, Rashad's not going to do anything except for try and get in there and take downs. And he's going to try and wear him out. There's a possibility that Rashad's going to get tired like he always does. And Shogun might be, cool enough at the time to do what Thiago Silva and Rashad and Rampage couldn't do when they hurt him. And that was like in the third. So we're talking about 5 rounds. But I was going to pick Rashad. And it was going to hurt. But I was going to pick Rashad. Because Rashad is not going to strike. There's no striking game plan. And that's simple as that. Now, to be honest, same thing goes for John Jones. John Jones is not striking. They had a game plan for Rashad Evans, and they were like, Rashad's hurt. John Jones, you're in? Okay, listen, John. Look, John, listen, yeah. Remember all that stuff we're working on with Rashad? Now we're doing it with you. Oh, yeah? Yeah. And we're not changing anything. Really? Yeah. So you're going to go out there, and we're going to practice takedowns, and we're going to practice holding people down and trying to do damage and keeping positions and not doing anything too flashy. Oh, yeah? Yeah. You're just going to chill out. Chill out 25 minutes, see if you can tire him out and win the round. That's what the game plan is, I think. Shogun, I got to go, like, where's Shogun? Is he going to be in his Forrest Griffin stage? Obviously, if he's in that stage, he gets raped in, like, a round and a half. If he's in his Mark Coleman stage, he gets beat in the 3rd round. If he's in his Chuck Liddell stage, well, I don't know. If he's in his Machida stage, first fight, smashes him. If he's in a Machida fight, second fight, I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about there. I do know this. Everything that you thought happened in that second fight with the injury and when the injury occurred is not exactly truthful. Also, I'm just going to say it like this. Randy Couture was on standby up to a week going into that last fight with Machida and Shogun, round 2 or fight 2. He was on standby. I'm just going to put it like that. So Shogun can say he's ready and all this other stuff, but I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe, so I'm just going to put him at an 80%. What will happen at 80%? Yes, he is going to get taken down. He'll get taken down at 100%, but Shogun has the ability to stand up like very few do. He can get that half guard, stand up. So how does Shogun win this fight? He goes out there and he picks Lyoto Machida part 2 fight. He just goes out there and just beasts him. Yeah, he gets taken down, gets back up. Maybe taken down a second time, gets back up and knocks him out. Or just something along the lines of, that. How does he lose? Being taken down and ending up somehow tired after maybe multiple takedowns or one takedown where maybe John Jones is very active in the guard and Shogun's exerting a lot of energy trying to protect himself against those long-ass arms and elbows and punches, etc., etc. Maybe getting into side control. So now John Jones is on top in side control, doing more, holding position. Shogun's exerting energy, etc., etc. Gets tired and gets submitted or TKO'd by a bunch of elbows. Not like TKO'd, like knocked out, like just TKO'd, like stop elbowing this dude's face. I think that's how he loses if he loses. He does not get knocked out. John Jones is not going to strike. He is not going to clinch. He's not doing any of that. He's just putting the arms out there just to, stay at a distance because you got to get past these freaking these giraffe necks, elephant trunk arms, and then try and get takedowns. And I think that's what John Jones is going to do. That's what Jackson's going to have him do. But I think Mauricio Shogun's going to be able to get the knockout. I think if he gets taken down, he's going to be able to get back up, and it is what it is. I'm picking Shogun, second round knockout. To be honest, I feel like it's going to be a first round knockout. So I'm going to switch it. First round knockout. Uriah Faber against Eddie Wineland. I'm going to go with Uriah Faber being just better in everything, to be completely honest. Uriah Faber has a loss to, I mean, he's had a, win-loss situation recently, but Jose Aldo and Mike Brown twice. Those have been his recent losses since 2005 when he lost to Tyson Griffin. I mean, Eddie Wineland, I'm not trying to overlook him. Anything can happen in MMA, blah, 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 blah. But Eddie Wineland is not on Uriah Faber's level. Yes, he can win, but he's not on his level. Boom. Next fight. Jim Miller versus Kamal Shalarus. I don't know what's happening. Jim Miller, your management, I don't know what's going on. Dana White, what are you guys doing to him? He comes in. He has 2 losses in his entire career. One is to Gray Maynard. One is to Frank Edgar. Everything else, he's got a win over Matt Wyman. He's got a win over Mac Danzig, Dwayne Ludwig, Mark Bocek, Leeson Tebow. And as he was kind of moving up, I'm like, oh, wow, he's moving up. He's doing his thing. And then they threw this Charles Oliveira fellow. And I'm like, well, I like Charles Oliveira, what I saw. But this is kind of backwards because Jim Miller is, 6-fight winning streak or whatever, and probably should be getting closer to the title shot. He wins that. I'm like, okay, now they're going to give him some kind of eliminator belt. They're going to give him somebody in the top 10. Now they give him Kamal Shalarus. I don't know. It is what it is. Kamal Shalarus is strong. He's fast. All that stuff. But Jim Miller should be able to walk through him. Really, anything happen? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Jim Miller should be able to win that fight. I think it'll be Jim Miller by decision. And Uriah Faber will likely finish it in the first or the second. Nate Marquardt versus Dan Miller. Nate Marquardt coming off of the worst fight I've ever seen him in, and hopefully he ever fights like that again. That's horrible against Yushin Okami. Had a quick win, a strange win over Husam Paul Harris, and then he just got Chael Sonnen before that, and then he knocked out Damian Maia in like 21 seconds or something. Very up and down recently. We all thought that we had some kind of new Nate Marquardt 2.0 type thing with what he did with Wilson Govea, but we haven't seen that since. Against Dan Miller, he's going to want to keep the fight on the feet. Dan Miller, who was outstruck by Damian Maia, will want to just take this fight to the ground and try and do something like what Chael Sonnen did. But I'm going to pick Nate Marquardt to not just get laid on for 3 rounds. If Dan Miller wants to strike with Nate Marquardt, good Lord. Not that Nate Marquardt's a great striker, but he's a better striker than Dan Miller. Mirko Filipović versus Brendan Schaub. Am I really supposed to pick Brendan Schaub in this fight? Mirko Filipović has not even looked like anything. Win or lose. That's the thing about it. You would think the way that people talk about Mirko Filipović that he's on a 7-fight losing streak. In reality, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. His only losses have been to Junior Dos Santos and Frank Mir. And then even before that, he's 3-2 in the UFC. Before, like, when he returned to the UFC. And we can go all the way back to Gabriel Gonzaga, Czech Congo. But okay, look, he looked horrible in the Gabriel Gonzaga fight. In Eddie Sanchez fight, that was lamb to slaughter. They basically were like 2 fights and you get the title shot. So we're going to give you these guys. Czech Congo got kneed in the balls a bunch of times. Said he's too old for it in the middle of the fight to Big John McCarthy. Then we're going to skip over all the Japan stuff. Hong Man Choi, just foolishness over there. Alistair Overeem, he was losing that fight. Mizuno, he's fighting like a... Alright, whatever. Comes back to the UFC, pokes Mustafa Al-Turk in the eye. Runs and has no aggression against Junior Dos Santos, which is okay. I mean, it's okay for me, but it shouldn't be for a striker. Anthony Perosh, lamb to slaughter, beats him. Pat Barry, I guess he broke everything that fight. And then the worst fight of the year against Frank Mir, and Frank Mir puts a knee in there to make it not the absolute worst thing that I've ever seen. With no aggression, only takedown defense, it seems that's the only thing left in his arsenal. and no kind of conviction behind his strikes, who can I have him possibly beat? Even Brendan Schaub can go out there and maybe head movement and get some knockdowns. Dang. I'm going to have to go with freaking Brendan Schaub to beat Mirko Filipović. What the F? That's why you're supposed to retire when you do dumb stuff. Just stop. Not because you're getting knocked out, because you just aren't where you need to be. Damn, that's depressing. Brendan Schaub. I'm going to pick him by freaking a knockout. What the F? Please, I would love to be wrong on that. I don't need you to do a left high kick, knockout Filipović. Just throw it straight properly. Just act like it's a punching bag and you're trying to hit him. Damn. Lewis Kane, I'm picking him over Elliot Marshall. He should be able to get a TKO. Edson Barbosa versus Anthony Njoku will be the fight of the night. It's gotta be. Gotta be. Unless it's just too fast. And I'm picking Barbosa with the KO. By the way, most boring fight of the night, most likely Nate Marquardt and Dan Miller. Ricardo Almeida should be able to out-grapple and win a fight against Mike Pyle. Gleason Tebow should be able to stay on top. Kurt Pellegrino gets taken down or gives up the takedown way too easily. And not get submitted, by the way. I don't think Gleason Tebow will get submitted, but it's very possible that he gets tired and Kurt Pellegrino this will be my yeah, I predicted it. Gleason Tebow gets tired and Kurt Pellegrino pulls off a third round last minute submission rear naked choke. That's a possibility. That's my long shot. But most likely, I think Gleason Tebow just takes him down and, doesn't lose. But loses the third. Anyways. Joseph Benavidez, damn, he's way at the bottom. He should be able to walk through Ian Loveland. Rafael Asuncao, I'm picking over Eric Koch. And I'm picking Nick Catone over Konstantinos Philippou. UFC 128. Just get it done, Shogun. Just get it done. MMA, it's important. Peace.